The last time I reported on something without being absolutely sure, I lost my life savings. I need a research assistant.
I know an excellent one. She did the background check on you.
The what?
You don't think we could hire just anyone for something like this?
So the other night I watched The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, probably for the 7th or 8th time. Murder mysteries are my favorite genre. I like to think, I like to be surprised, I like to, if I figure it out, you know, it just gets me thinking and I enjoy it. But again, it's 7th or 8th time. And then, so I got to thinking, like, what are some movies to where I know the ending, I know the twist, but I still enjoy them and can still sit through them. And it's not, I know the ending, like The Terminator, you know how that ends, but you still watch it, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about mysteries, twists. Is it a good twist, a bad twist, so on and so forth. So I was going to go over some movies and we'll just kind of discuss, go from there. Now, they're not all murder mysteries like this first one I'm going to talk about, where the twist is a really good twist, but how good is the rewatchability factor for the movie, knowing the twist? So I'll go over some of that and just kind of share some opinions on some other ones as well. Now, of course, we all know this movie, I'm assuming.
I see dead people.
Now, you know, I got a quick little clip, I get it, but I don't want to just have a half-hour fucking video. We all know the twist to that, or we should. I won't say anything, but for me, it's one of those things where you just watch once again, maybe twice, or every 4 years, maybe. But I haven't watched it in years because I watched it a couple times after the twist, and you pick up on other things. You're like, okay, that's cool, and then it's kind of like, oh, remember that twist? Yeah, and then you carry on a conversation. Another one like that, I don't know if it's many people, I never hear people talk about this one very often, but
What's the matter? Where is my daughter? What have you done with my daughter? Are you mad? I am your daughter.
so for that, I don't know how many people have seen it. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it, but that had a crazy twist. And again, you can watch a couple times maybe, and then you start picking up on things once you know the twist, and you're like, all right, that's a pretty good movie. But then it's not something that, even if I see it on, I don't tune into. So those aren't murder mysteries, but what I'm trying to say is, like, how much can the reveal ruin the movie, as opposed to make you want to keep coming back because there's other things to it. So on to the next. Now this movie, I am going to spoil this movie, so after we watch this little part here and I get to talking, if you want to mute it or whatever, I'm going to explain how a twist or a reveal can make you not want to see the movie again. So there'll be a couple of those, but I'll let you know that I'm going to spoil it beforehand.
If you're watching this, I'm probably trying to convince you of something pretty unbelievable, or I'm dead.
I'd do anything to get her back, but the next dose could kill you.
There are things that are far worse than death.
Alright, so the premise of that is two ambulance guys, two medics, they start coming across these weird bodies, and it turns out this synchronic, this drug, makes people time travel. So time travel is always a little touchy because it's so easy to fuck up. But in this case, you don't really, all the little clips that they just showed in that trailer, of him appearing in different spots and all that, different times, is like at the end of the movie. And it turns out one of the medics' daughters smoked the drug. She disappears or whatever. Anyway, I'm just going to spoil it. Anthony Mackie goes back in time, rescues the daughter at some, like, Revolutionary War battle. Then Anthony Mackie doesn't make it back in time. So he just kind of fades away on this rock, and they say their goodbyes. But it's okay because he has a brain tumor, so he sacrificed himself to get the daughter back. But it was like some mystery, like, what the hell's going on? Oh, they're time traveling. This is kind of interesting, blah, blah, blah. A guy gets killed by a pirate. That's kind of interesting. And then it's just like, okay, let's just start time jumping. Let's just resolve this. And then, okay, we got the girl, but I'm stuck back in the Revolutionary War. So it was just kind of like, really? I don't know. Now again, I'm going to spoil this one. Another time travel one, and I'm not knocking them for the time travel parts because I know that's difficult.
It's a normal, boring shift. Too much to ask.
It's like a puncture wound. Boys across town just got 2 more bodies. Said both had some kind of mark on their neck.
We had 3 random victims with times of death and minutes apart. Bodies are miles apart. How's that work?
Suspect heading west across Liberty.
Hello, Thomas.
What'd you say?
Is this where it happens?
Okay, so the premise of that, and it was fascinating, is that detective there, or he becomes detective, because it skips, you know, it doesn't just skip time and everything, but it goes through his whole life where it says this cop comes across these murders in the 80s, and then every 9 years the same type of murders come up, and he's chasing it, and nothing, it all defies logic. Like they said, there's multiple bodies, different spots. How is this possible? So every 9 years the murders start up again. Now what it is that, again, spoilers here, is that girl, now she's traveling back in time. She's going backwards as the time's going forward. So that is she dies right there when she says this is where it happens, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She dies there, but it still happens because in the future, she's going backwards as things are going forward. Whatever. Turns out that that's his granddaughter, and she's killing all the people to, and this is where it's lame, erase the idea of some white supremacist revolution that starts a civil war in the future. So it was just, and they speed through the time, like nine years go by. It's like, oh, murders again. Everybody's like, oh, you're crazy. And it's got Michael C. Hall, Dexter, which I cannot unsee Dexter, and he's trying to do some nerdy southern accent that's just, I don't know, whatever. But everybody's like, oh, you're crazy. You need to stop drinking. You need blah, blah, blah. You're a deadbeat dad, this and that. He's like, I'm not crazy. There's all these murders. It's happening again. It's the same girl. And then we get to the final reveal. And she's like, yeah, I'm your granddaughter. I have this job because of you. And then she tells the story of what she's doing. And there's a white supremacist group. And she's got to go back in time and kill all these people to get rid of the idea. So it was just like, okay, whatever. Not worth watching again. And in fact, most of it wasn't even that engaging. I stopped a couple times. Synchronic was kind of engaging. Low budget. The acting is pretty solid though. But Synchronic, you know, that's all right. One-time watches, whatever. They did their part. This one, especially since I just spoiled it for you, but there's nothing really redeeming about it. Now, The Outsider is an HBO series, so at the end of this one, I'm giving my criticisms. Keep that in mind. We're talking about 8 episodes or 10, I can't remember. But it's not like you're sitting for an hour and a half and you're like, okay, I just wasted an hour and a half. When you're investing in a series, you know, it can be a little bit more irritating.
Terrence Maitland, I'm arresting you for the murder of Frankie Peterson.
For the what?
I'm as baffled by this conflicting evidence as you are. His prints are all over the crime scene. The TV footage puts him 60 miles away.
You can't have been in 2 places at once.
Intriguing, right? Now, I'm not going to give spoilers too heavy. But I'll have to kind of, not necessarily spoil it. I'll just speak and whatever. But my problem with this series is about halfway through, they figure out what it is. It's kind of paranormal, okay? But that's not a big spoiler because, like I said, it gets revealed like halfway through. And then the rest just becomes like a fugitive show. So all the other episodes just become like fugitive. And I was disappointed. I just became irritated because it was like in other episodes, like, you know what's going on, fugitive, you know what's going on, fugitive, you know what's going on, fugitive. It's like, give me some fucking closure by now, because you already revealed, you know, which is why I was engaged in the first place, is there was some mystery to it. Now the mystery's gone. You know, you removed the mystery, and now we're just doing some fugitive shit. So either catch him, kill him, whatever. So that, I can't, I would never watch that again. I don't know if they're doing another season or if that was just based off a book, actually. So that's probably one off, done. So moving on. Now, Wind River is another one. Kind of like what I just talked about with the series, with The Outsider.
This is a homicide.
I knew that girl. She's a fighter.
They have 6 officers to cover an area the size of Rhode Island. Maybe you can help.
I only know what the tracks say.
What is it that you do again?
Hunt predators.
So why don't you come hunt one for me then?
Okay, performance is good, writing good, you know, solid movie as far as just quality of movie. But you're sold as, you know, you got this murder mystery going on, this and that. Again, it gets revealed pretty, not early on, but it does get revealed. And then it, you know, that removes the mystery from it. And then not so much the fugitive thing, but kind of, they know what's going on. They know who the bad guys are. Let's get the bad guys. Just me going into it, I thought it was going to be like a murder mystery. So as soon as it was just revealed what was going on, it was like, oh, okay, you know, that's kind of like, now what, you know? So that might have been my mindset going into the movie. So it was why I don't really like it that much, because I expected different. So just to be fair. Silencing, just something I came across on Netflix. It's got Nikolai Coster-Waldau, who's Jaime Lannister. I liked him in Shot Caller. A while back I tried watching something else with him, but it was his native, it was foreign, which is okay. I'm not against foreign films. I just wasn't in the mood for like subtitles and shit at that moment. So nothing against subtitles. I prefer subs over dubs, always. But yeah, so Shot Caller was good. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, or was, which I covered in my last video. If anybody even watched it, doesn't matter. So, but murder mystery.
The body was dumped in the water.
Think whoever killed her was hunting her for sport?
I wouldn't call it a sport. But yeah. She was hunted.
Breaking news. We're here at a crime scene where a body has been found.
I need to see that girl.
Okay. So, I'll leave a little... This one was an alright movie. It had nice little mid-twists within it, which is a good thing. That's what keeps you engaged. You know, sleight of hand, whatever, however you want to call it. So I would say this one's kind of worth watching. As a repeatable watch one, I don't know. If I guess the best way, if I'm with somebody that hasn't seen it, I could definitely sit through it again. If I'm just wanting to rewatch something again, like Girl with Dragon Tattoo, something I could do, I wouldn't be able to do that with this. The twist, the reveal is a little lackluster, but since they give you little twists and kind of distractions throughout it, it keeps you engaged. So the reveal at the end isn't lame. It just kind of seems short. It's like, all right, here's the end. Here's a reveal. Let's settle this. Okay, now everybody just kind of lives on. But there are some twists and stuff in the middle that'll keep you engaged. Performances are all right. The deadbeat dad thing's a bit played out. Nikolai Coster-Waldau plays, you know, the drunk deadbeat divorced dad. you know, that can be a little played out sometimes, but it does not actually interfere too much. There are some parts though where it drags on and it is kind of focused on, so that could maybe take you out of it. I don't know. I'm just letting you know my opinion. It's not something I could really watch again, but it's not bad. It's not a not rewatch because it sucks. Just, yeah, it did its part and I enjoyed my time. Now, this one, again, not necessarily a murder mystery and everything, and I paused it here. I was a little late on that. The reason I like this scene is because this was improv, and it's kind of what's going to touch on what I'm saying. Even though you know the reveal of this movie, and if you don't, I'm not going to spoil it, there's a lot of aspects about this movie to enjoy throughout for rewatchability factor. All the acting is top-notch, the writing, everything. It's a really good story. And then you got humor and in it too, to kind of just a mix, and a mix is good. Like, I like this scene because it was improv, like they were legit laughing and they just kept rolling it with it. So I didn't know that until years later, but so I enjoyed this scene. This movie's definitely solid for rewatchability factor, in my opinion.
How many keys, you cocksucker?
In English, please.
Excuse me?
In English.
How many fucking keys, you cocksucker? What the fuck?
Number 4, step forward.
Okay. Yeah, so that's definitely something I can watch again and again. Maybe not yearly, but when I catch it on, I might tune in, or, you know, knowing the reveal does not ruin that movie for me at all in any way, which is a good thing. So, again, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to mention spoilers or anything. And this isn't it's a murder mystery. Now, there aren't a bunch of twists in this. Like, they're not making you think it's this person and then reveal, oh no, you know, or whatever like that. Not really. This is just very engaging. It's dark. I like dark. It's outside the box. You know, might make people uncomfortable. Whatever. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just really enjoy this tone. It's just gritty. I just enjoy everything about it. This is a definite rewatch for me. Hands down.
You're caught in a game. No fingerprints and no witnesses of any kind.
Nope. About the only thing we know about that guy right now is he's totally insane.
Where the price of sin is death. There are 7 deadly sins. Gluttony.
You're going to come take a look at this.
Greed.
No one touches anything.
Sloth. Wrath. Pride. Lust. And envy. 7. You can expect 5 more of these.
Yeah, solid film. If you haven't seen it, it's an older film. A lot of people have seen it, but maybe you haven't. Yeah, the reveal really doesn't affect the movie, honestly, at all. It's like, oh wow, okay, there's that. But everything leading it is just, it's a really good film. Mystic River. This, again, now we're getting into the ones where the reveal and the rewatchability is solid for me. The performances of this movie are good. I don't know if I've never heard people talk about this one, but it's got a good cast, real good acting. So,
Where have you been?
Feelings that make us question our beliefs. Fears that trigger our darkest emotions.
It's my daughter's car.
He sent my daughter in there! He sent my daughter in there! Oh, God!
So, as you see, Sean's been, they find his daughter or whatever. Now, he's kind of this local little town mob boss, organized crime guy, but it's not real mafia heavy at all. It's just, there's all kinds of different characters in this little town, and that's what I like about it, is because you're getting all these different perspectives, you know. and all this different information comes in, and all this different questioning, and this person thinks this person did it, and blames this person, and there's just a lot rotating, a lot of going on, and a lot of perspectives. And the reveal does not ruin. It's a good reveal, and the rewatchability factor for me is solid. Gone Baby Gone. I've heard people talk about this one for a long time. I didn't watch this for the first time until like maybe a year ago, and I've watched it 2 or 3 times since then. I enjoy it every time. Yeah, I'll touch more on it.
You gotta take a side. If you beat a child, you're not on my side. If you see me coming, you better run because I'm gonna lay you down.
This child, that's all I care about. I'm gonna bring her home.
Tell him I'm sorry.
How much? What did you do? Where I come from, you die with your secrets.
All right, so good performance, good twist and everything, and the reveal is like a massive, not massive like I see dead people, you're dead, not massive like that, but it's a good reveal. Now Casey Affleck, he's a real honorable type guy, kind of like a Ned Stark, has a certain code and everything, and that plays into the end. Now this is a good one for, if you haven't seen it, but to watch something like with friends or like a date situation, because at the end there's some moral questions, and it can create good discussion, and that's awesome. So this is a solid rewatch for me, and probably a little bit of a recommend. I don't like to recommend stuff because I have my own tastes, I have my own perspectives on movies, but if you're going to watch this and you haven't seen it, watch it with somebody, and at the end you get some dynamic there that adds some questions, morality, so solid. Prisoners, another solid performance, solid writing. I like the dark tone of it. I mean murder mystery dark tone, but I don't know. It's real broody. I kind of like that. I don't always like brooding type stuff, but with the way Hugh Jackman performs and everything, he really sells me on the character. There's a couple scenes where it's laid on a little too thick, and you're just like, all right, dude, I guess maybe that's the best take, or you were tired that day and they just put it, I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't take you out of the movie, though. Or
show me your hands right now!
You put those girls somewhere, Alex.
No.
I know you put those girls somewhere.
He stays in custody until my daughter's found, right?
We have a 48-hour hold on. It ends tomorrow unless we bring charges.
We'll charge him with something.
That boy has never been in trouble, not a day in his life.
Well, this thing's clean. I'd start looking in the woods by the rest stop.
The police said they're letting him go today.
What you doing? Tell me! No!
Day 6, and every day she's wondering why I'm not there.
Yes, very good performances. Jake Gyllenhaal, solid. He added like this characteristic. I don't know why. Like he blinks a lot. Like he's twitchy. I don't know if it's like some kind of Tourette's thing, or I don't know. He just twitches his face a little bit, and I guess he wanted to add that to the character. Maybe it helped him get into the right mindset for whatever reason. I don't know. It was unnecessary, a little bit distracting at times for me, but the rewatchability is solid on this for me again. Then the reveal, pretty good reveal, a little bit of twists. As you've seen, they're arresting homeboy, it's just a lot going on, they can only hold him for so long and this and that, and it kind of leads to other things. So good solid movie. Oh, we'll say the ending, the very ending. I'm not talking about the reveal, but the very ending is a bit ambiguous. I may have said too much. It doesn't really have any bearing on the movie, but it may piss you off, it may annoy you a little bit, but it really does not affect the movie. Gone Girl. Now, the clip I chose is for a reason, because I really like how dark this is. And this isn't a mystery. This is something where, in a good way, it's revealed early. The twist is revealed early. But for me, it did not affect the movie at all, because of the darkness of the performances, because shit is still fucked up, even though we know what's going on, and it's just, they do a really good job of showing the different angles there, in my opinion.
I always think of her head. I picture cracking her lovely skull, unspooling her brains, trying to get answers.
So I picked that clip for a reason, because that sets the tone for the movie, and I totally dig it, because it is fucked up. That's one of those things too. You can kind of pick sides, and whose point of view do you actually agree with, or who's the more fucked up one, or it's got a lot going on, and I totally dig it. It has a lot of rewatchability for me personally. Now, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is something I could watch all the time. Not all the time, but often.
It's Mikael Blomqvist. May I come in? We need to talk.
Hey, who do you think you are?
Put some clothes on. Get rid of your girlfriend. Can I call you Elizabeth? I want you to help me catch a killer of women.
Alright, so I have not watched the original ones. It has nothing to do with subtitles. I mentioned subtitles earlier. As I've gotten older, I've become okay with subtitles over the last few years. It's fine. It's actually because Rooney Mara did such an awesome job, and she's what drew me in the first time I saw this. That's what I enjoyed. She plays Lisbeth Salander. That even though Rumi Pace did it first, I don't think, because I liked Rooney Mara so much, that I think that'll take me out of it. And watching the trailers, the quality's a little bit less, but probably didn't have the budget, and it's foreign and this and that, and that's fine. I can get past that. It's a good story. Just I don't think I can get past who I prefer as the main character, because this was my first viewing experience, and she sucked me in. And I chose this clip, and I got the first clip at the beginning of this video, the first half of that clip, because when he says, "I want you to help me catch killer women," the way she looks at him is very powerful, because she's got trust issues and this and that, but she knows a lot about him because she investigated him, which you hear in the first half of the clip, I believe. So she knows him pretty well, through digging up dirt on him, but that touched a nerve, because she's got trust issues, she's kind of been abused, and she's got mental issues and everything. And then I can't really explain it without giving it away if you haven't seen it. So, but rewatchability is definitely up there for me. Now, True Detective, season 2, I don't dislike as much as I did early on. Season 2, I've watched twice, and never again. Season 1, I've watched, I think, probably 6 times. It's a yearly thing for me. But I didn't first watch it until a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. It doesn't matter. Season 3 was improved. Season 4 looks like shit. That trailer looks fucking awful. But whatever. Season 1 is some of the best television that I've ever watched. Like I said, I don't like to recommend things and everything. This I would definitely recommend.
You ever see something like this?
No, sir.
Someone once told me that all your love, your hate, was all the same thing. It was all a dream.
dreams. There's a monster at the end of it.
All right, so murder mystery, and there's a time jump involved, but it's done really well. Like you see Matthew there, he's telling a story of what happened, so that's how it time jumps. He's telling a story of this case that he had worked, a decade before or whatever. The performances, Woody Harrelson, Matthew McConaughey, plus the subject matter I really like. Not that, missing girls and whatnot. I get off on that. Nothing like that. Just how emotional that could be. Like it's a serious thing, and you become involved. You care. So I think that really plays into it. It's one of those things. Yeah, you sucked into it. It's a season thing. So if you got some time, definitely I would invest in that. In season 1. So, but yeah. Ran a little long there, I'm not sure, just kind of rambled. Learning how to explain things without revealing too much. So as you see me kind of stumble on my words and everything, I'm catching myself. I don't want to reveal too much. So I'll work on that and I'll get better. These are all just movies and shows that when the ideas kicked in my head, this is what I thought of. I didn't really dig deep and really dwell and think of movies or ask people, whatever. So if you have any suggestions, throw them at me. Or if you ever want to discuss, let's discuss. So, all right. Thanks for stopping by.